Morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me as we take a look at your weekend forecast for June 21st through the 23rd. Welcome to summer. Feels like summer, although it's not going to be as hot as it's been, which is good. It's been real hot, at least by Vermont standards. We are going to cool off some, although the humidity is with us through the weekend. Then we'll have a couple of days, Monday, Tuesday, particularly really kind of lower humidity levels before we start to wrestle with it again. We're in that time of year, so let's just take a look at what's going to happen here. For the weekend, while we're going to lose the humidity, we are going to definitely still have kind of some showers. The reason we're not the heat. Sorry, we're not losing the humidity. We're not going to lose we're going to lose some of the heat. And the reason mostly we're losing the heat is because this boundary layer that's been to our north has slowly started to sink south, but it is not coming, it's not crashing right through with a front. That would be nice, although that would probably come with some pretty strong thunderstorms, so maybe it wouldn't be great. But it would also, but what it does mean is that we're going to kind of be in this boundary layer where there's lots of potentials for showers and thunderstorms. And we could have some thunderstorms that get a little bit stronger. Yesterday was probably our best chance for severe weather. And it didn't really pan out too bad in southern Vermont. There was a few places that got some stronger cells. I know there was some power outages, but they were pretty brief. That is definitely still possible, but yesterday is probably the most widespread day. We'll have to see what happens on Sunday. That's the other day where I think there's a decent chance as we get a little bit of momentum with things shifting to the south. But until then, the humidity is going to continue. Temperatures will cool, though, mostly because we have a lot of clouds. Before we look at local radar, let's look at radar across the country. There's kind of where the surface boundary is. You can see it's kind of right on top of us. Where is red and blue on a surface boundary? What that basically means is that's a stationary boundary, which means it's not moving too much. And the problem with the reality with that is it means that the cooler temperatures, which are quite a ways to our north still here, are definitely not really headed in our direction anytime soon in the lower humidity levels. Cooler temperatures because of clouds, yes. So instead of 90s, today we're going to see 80s, low 80s probably. And tomorrow we might be thick enough clouds where we stay in the 70s, but still going to feel warm. It's still going to feel uncomfortable because dew points are still in the upper 60s and low 70s. Basically, what's going to happen here is today we're going to show you how we're going to see some sun this morning. Before this is still sinking ever slowly south, and as that boundary layer gets closer to us, we get the heating of the day. We're going to pop up some thunderstorms today. I think they could be stronger today. Definitely not. I wouldn't rule out the possibility of a severe thunderstorm, but I think mostly not as significant as yesterday's storms. And yesterday's, like I said, weren't overly terrible, but definitely more potentially yesterday. Although there is still plenty of energy in the atmosphere in terms of lots of moisture and heat at the lower levels. So that gives us a chance for anything that pops up. Could definitely have very heavy rain briefly and have a decent amount of lightning, gusty winds. It's really the winds. There's not a huge trigger for strong winds, but a decent amount of lightning and heavy rain definitely possible with any storms that we get today. Tomorrow, the cloud cover will be basically much more consistent throughout the day. That'll help keep thunderstorm development lower, but it could lead to some areas of more steady rain. And then on Sunday, we get a little bit more sun again. That gives a chance again for some stronger thunderstorms as we go through. Let's take a look close to home. You can see already to the north, we're starting to get the bubbling up of some storms already starting today. And as throughout the day, these will just increase in number. And some of them, as they get organized, they tend to kind of push through again. Could have a few with gusty winds, lots of lightning and heavy rain briefly with any of them is definitely a possibility. Nothing I'd be too worried about, but just certainly could happen. Let's take a look at kind of the overall pattern. You can see our ridge, which was very pronounced, is starting to kind of do combat with a bit of with a trough to its north, way up in northern Canada. That is slowly over the next few days going to push things south, and our ridge will become much more zonal, and we will get some cooler Canadian air in here on Monday and Tuesday with some drier air, with dew points falling back into the 50s for a couple of days, which is nice and comfortable. So that'll happen before maybe the ridge starts to rebuild again. But again, it is that sort of time of year. But we have kind of lost the real significant ridge. And the real significant warm air that we had here has kind of been beat back a little bit. So let's take a look at what that actually looks like forecast-wise. Today, I put strong storms on there. There's definitely an opportunity for that. Not everybody will see one. Not everybody will even see thunder and lightning. I bet most people see some rain. That's definitely likely just about everywhere. Temperatures up. Low 80s, definitely, and the storms are more likely. Basically, the further you get into the day, the more likely they are. So most likely from about noon through about 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, and then they start to wind down a little bit. Overnight tonight, we are mostly cloudy. Could have a sprinkle here or two. but mostly just cloudy tonight. Rain tomorrow, not wall-to-wall rain. It'll be in the showery variety. I think basically just not quite, and you could have some heavier downpours in this as we are very soupy in the atmosphere. Could be a rumble of thunder as well. That's definitely possible. I think any storms we see tomorrow would be even less strong, but definitely still possible. Overnight, Saturday night into Sunday, we keep the clouds around, and then the front really does start to move, and this changes things a little bit on Sunday. We see some more sun as the front will probably kind of be stuck over the top of us tomorrow. It moves north just slightly on Sunday, allowing a little bit of sun, which was why the temperatures pop back up into the low 80s. Also why, as it starts to sink south again and move, that's why we have the chance for the stronger storms. We'll have to watch that. That could be a little bit more widespread. So that's definitely a possibility for Sunday. And then on Sunday overnight, we could keep coming to some of the sprinkles on the backside of the front. Temperatures stay up overnight, but then we'll kind of cool out. It won't really cool off. It'll be warm still on Monday, but the humidity will be dropping through the day, so it'll feel much better on Monday. Particularly Tuesday will feel really good. So that's the day where you can really finally be like, we're getting some nice summer Vermont weather. Let's take a look at those highlights. Our hot weather moderates some, but we stay humid with clouds and numerous rain chances. Today brings a chance for storms, with some being strong. Saturday brings off and on rain showers. They could be heavy at times. Sunday brings a chance for storms. Some could be strong. And then humidity levels decrease early next week. I wouldn't cancel all my outdoor plans for the weekend. Tomorrow, I think, is going to be tough. You're going to see a lot of showers, but you could get a stretch of dry weather, definitely. So you just got to want to be prepared. You got to be prepared today. Anytime, really, that you could have a pop-up thunderstorm. So if you're going to be somewhere, you just need to have a plan for what you're going to do if it does start to thunder, if you get a little bit of thunder and lightning. But it's not like it's going to be wall-to-wall rain. So I wouldn't cancel all outside plans. You can probably fit in stuff. You just got to be prepared. You could get wet. So there you go. I'll be back on Monday next week with a look at your work week forecast. Oh, before I do that, almost forgot. Patrons, thanks. I want to give a shout out to my patrons. They help support what I do here at the West River Weather Guy. If you're interested in becoming a patron, you can check the link in the description below. It talks about it. And I will be back on Monday.